Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I came up with AWS database. So the people who are working on AWS databases or the people who want to appear for any of the exam like AWS cloud practitioner or AWS solution architect, this topic is very important in those exams. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. So let's start. In this video, I'm going to cover a few of the important databases as well. So we will start by looking into what is AWS relational database, and then we have multi-AZ, means multi availability zone databases, and read replica. We will go through it. Then I will explain Amazon Aurora, DynamoDB, Amazon Document DB, Amazon Keyspace, Neptune DB. These are different kinds of database, and at last we'll see Quantum Ledger and Amazon TimeStream databases. So in this video, I will give you the explanation on these different kind of databases. So if you are planning to work on any of this kind of database, you will have a pre idea about what it is, so you can prepare yourself based on that. And also in the exams, if some topic is there based on the type of data we want to store, we have to choose the relevant database. In that case also this video will be helpful. So what is Amazon relational database service? So, a relational database. First of all, we have to understand what is relational database. So, a database in which we store the data in the form of tables, columns, rows. That kind of database is known as relational database. Now, which kind of data we can store in the form of table? Where the data where we want to establish the relationship. For example, I want to create a database for my school, for my organization, or anything. In that case, I'm just giving an example here. In that case, I want to establish a relationship between the employees and the HR, between the organization and the employee. Or if we talk about the school database, there I want to establish relationship between teacher and students. So that kind of data we will prefer relational database services. Or if we talk about the OLTP transactions, means online transaction processing. For example, if I talk about banking system where transactions are involved, like I have a table where I have in like including my credit details, how much amount got credited, and then the second table I am storing my debit details, how much amount got debited. So these two should be in the relationship with my balance amount in my account. So all this relationship should be established between different tables. In that case, we use relational database services. All the transactions, whether it's a banking system, whether it's your daily e-commerce website, in all these things we use relational database service, though it is very old database service, but it is used for this kind of purpose. I have already prepared a video on data modeling where I have given you a short discussion, or I have just discussed about the relational data model. So if you are interested in going through it, you can always refer that. Now in this particular Amazon relational database services, what it is, Amazon provide the relational database service to you. Suppose if I have to install a relational database by my own, then I have to first purchase that license, then I have to install, I have to establish the connection with my DB, and then I have to worry about the updation, patching, backup, restoration, everything I have to take care, means all the admin activities I have to take care by my own. But if I am taking use, or if I am using the AWS database, in this all the admin activities are managed by AWS. We have to just use the database as we are using a normal DB. So there is no need to do any admin task. So this is what it is written here. This service do all the admin tasks for relational database like automated patching, backup, redundancy, failover, disaster recovery. So all these things are taken care by AWS. We have to just use this. Now this relational database in Amazon, it support all these different database engine. Like we can use SQL Server in the relational database. We can use Oracle. We can use MySQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, and Amazon Aurora. So this Amazon Aurora is the proprietary, or it's a own product of AWS. So this I'm going to tell you in the upcoming slide. Here I have listed some of the features of relational database services. The first one is available at multiple availability zones. So this relational database is automatically Amazon take care of it, like it is present in more than one availability zone. So if something is happened to one availability zone, some failure or some hardware failure, anything, then the data or the data in the database won't get lost. It is available in the other availability zone. So that kind, in this way our data is always secure. Then automatic backup facility is there, and as I said, it is used for online transaction processing. If you want to understand what is availability zone, I have already created a video on this, like my AWS basic fundamentals video. You can always refer to this. Now moving to the multi availability zone database. What is multi availability zone database? So as a name suggests, a database which is available in more than one availability zone. This kind of database is used primarily for the disaster recovery. Disaster recovery means if anything has happened to a particular availability zone, by chance or by any natural disasters or any power cut off or anything, and the data got lost, in that case we can always access the secondary database which is there in the another availability zone. So this is the feature of multi availability zone database, but we cannot connect to the secondary database until our primary database is up and running. So now let's see about read replica. What is read replica? When you want to increase the read performance, then we use read replica. Suppose I have a database and the data is there in the tables in the form of tables, columns, and rows, and the read is like the read operations are too many. In that case, suppose I have a data of my banking system, or suppose I have a data of e-commerce website, and the read operation on that data is more, in that case the performance of the database will automatically get slow and the performance get decreased. So in that case we always have a facility to have read replicas, means this is the replica of the database, it is used for only read purposes. So like how just I it's not exactly like a view, but I have the if you know about databases and tables, we create views to to have a more easy access kind of, so that kind of thing we can have in the entire database. So read replica is a copy of primary database, and also if you have a read replica you can just create an independent database out of read replica itself. It is automatic backup is enabled, like automatic backup should be enabled if you are using read replica, and at least we can have till 5 read replica minimum. Okay, so this is about the read replica of the database. If you are planning to create read replica, you can always do so through Amazon Web Console. And I am not covering this in this portion, but I'll surely come up with the demo video as well. So let's go to Amazon Aurora. Now, what is Amazon Aurora? Amazon Aurora is a relational database of Amazon. Like how we have relational databases, MySQL, Oracle, all these things. So, similarly, Amazon Aurora is a relational database service which support MySQL and PostgreSQL both. And it is serverless service, means you don't have to provision EC2 instant, or you don't have to take servers and all this thing. You can just directly provision Amazon Aurora and you can start using this. And it support from 10 GB to 128 TB of data, and it support auto scaling, so it can scale up to 96 virtual CPUs and 968 GB. And it is work on DB cluster. What is mean by DB cluster? Means based on the application need, your database can automatically scale up and scale down. Like if you have need of suppose 10 instance, so automatically it will create 10, and then based on the application need we have to just justify that, we have to mention in there in the rules that if the performance should maintain of each database up to 80%. If utilization or over utilization beyond 80% is happening to any of the database instance, then automatically it should start a new instance. That kind of rules we can right, and automatically when the capacity or the utilization of a database increased by 80%, then a new database service will get start. So that kind of automatic scale up and scale down facility is there. And also we can mention, like, if the utilization is less than 40%, then the other instance should get shut down. So that kind of automatic startup, shutdown, scale up, scale down facility is there. Then automated failover management is applicable only in the Aurora replicas. So in the Aurora replica, if you want to create, we can create 15 Aurora replicas. In MySQL we can create 5, and in Postgre we can create 5 replicas. So this is all about Amazon Aurora. If you are planning to use any of the relational database service of Amazon, then you can use Amazon Aurora. And this question, Amazon Aurora, is usually asked in exams also, because it's their proprietary product. So it's good to consider this if you are preparing for exams. Now moving to DynamoDB. DynamoDB is a NoSQL database, and it is again a proprietary product of AWS. Means it is AWS own product. And if I say about NoSQL, means it don't store the data in the form of tables, columns, and rows. It store the data in the form of key value pair. Now most of you are wondering, what is key value pair? Key value pair is very simple. Suppose I have, let me just tell you a very good example. I have a data, I have a table here, which is having person detail. So this is data, and I have having person detail. So let's say this is serial number, and here we have the name of the person, and then here we have the value for the person value. So if a person name is XYZ, that person name XYZ, if I want to store the value, I can store the person's address, right? I can store person address, I can store person contact detail, right? I can store contact detail of that person. Then I can store, like, its email address, anything I can store for that person, right? So this name is the key, and these are the different values of that person. Now suppose I want to store any other person's detail, like I want to store the detail of the person ABC. In this ABC person detail, I there is no need to always store address, contact, and email. Suppose in this I want to store the gender of the person, right? And then I want to store the skill set of the person, like what skill set that person is having. So this is like here in relational database. Usually what happen is, in the relational database, if you're storing address, contact, and email of one person, you have to store the address, contact, email of all the persons. Means here the columns should be constant. But in key value pair, these keys are and the value can differ. Like suppose one person you are storing address, contact, email, for other you are storing gender and skill set. So here this is the key of your key value, and this is the value of your database. So like this we can store even the files as a key, and the data inside the file will come as the value. So this is the difference of Amazon NoSQL database, and it store the data in the form of key value pair. Now if we talk about its property, so it is highly accessible, and because it store the data in the form of key value, we can always easily access it, and it is fast. It supports two type of read. One is eventually consistent read. Means the whenever we are reading any data, if we are storing the copy of this data, all the copies should have the same data. Strongly consistent read means it reflect all the right. Suppose I have updated this copy of the data, then when I read, first all the write operation will happen, and then we'll be able to read. This is strongly consistent, and this is eventually consistent data. Now DynamoDB accelerator, what it says is, It facilitate memory cache, as it says. Accelerator means it accelerate the performance of DynamoDB. How it accelerate from millisecond to microsecond. So if your performance is millisecond, if you want to speed up the read operation, it will cache the data in the memory cache, and then the speed or the performance get increased. So this is the DynamoDB accelerator. I hope it is clear. So DynamoDB is again very very important topic in the exams. So I will cover important points about DynamoDB in my upcoming slide. So these are some important points about DynamoDB. First is pricing of DynamoDB. So the price is based on the pay as per the request. How much ever you want to use the DynamoDB service, that much you have to pay. So it is no prior charges, nothing like that. And there is no charge for read and write, only for the storage and backup you have to pay. Now, if I talk about security of DynamoDB, so it supports encryption of data using KMS, that is Key Management Service of AWS, then site to site VPN, virtual private network, direct connect, which is more secure than a virtual private network. When I cover the networking topic, I will tell you what is the difference between virtual private network and direct connect. In virtual private network, the data is encrypted, but it will travel in the public network only. But in direct connect, the dedicated line is available for the data, to it is more secure. So that's the difference, but I will surely cover it. Then it follow the policies, access management policies and role. It provide fine grained access. It support CloudWatch and CloudTrial, which is used for auditing and monitoring purposes. And at last, it supports VPC endpoint, which is virtual private cloud endpoint. So this is more secure database, NoSQL database service available by AWS. Then it follows ACID. ACID is the property of the database. A stands for atomic, means all the changes should perform or not. Means if you are doing a change to a particular table, and you have to do the change to the all related table of that particular record, okay. Either you should do the changes to the all particular record, or you should not do change to any of the table. That is what it means. Then consistent. Consistence means the data should be consistent before and after transaction. Okay, suppose I'll give you an example of banking system. Before transaction, my balance is 1,000 rupees or 1,000 bucks, and after withdrawing 200 rupees, my transaction or my account balance should be 800 bucks. So the data should be consistent. It should not be there in some application it is reflecting 1,000, in some application it is reflecting 800. Then isolated. Suppose any update process or any process is working on the data, any update is going on the data, at that time no other transaction should be done. That is means isolated. Isolation of the data. Then durable. Changes made by the transaction must persist. So if I have made any update to any of the data, it should stay and it should not get lost. So these are some of the properties which are known as ACID, acid properties, which are followed by a DynamoDB. So in this way, DynamoDB is more efficient. Then we have something known as DynamoDB stream. What is mean by DynamoDB stream? In DynamoDB stream, every change that is come with a sequence number. Suppose I have updated a record, that update will come with a sequence number as 1. Now again I am updating the same record, that change will come as number 2. So all the update will come with the sequence. So when we want to store it, the sequence get stored, and all the item level sequence get stored in the table. So that is the DynamoDB stream. And when you want to retrieve, you have to retrieve is first in first out form. So then this is the complete properties. So in exams also, if you see like which database follow the ACID property, then it is again DynamoDB which follow ACID property. Pricing we have discussed. Security is like very tight security is there in the DynamoDB. So this is one of the most popular NoSQL database which is there in the AWS. So if you want to use any database which is where you want to store the value as a key value pair and you want high security, then always go for the DynamoDB. Then we have Amazon Document DB. What is Document DB? If you guys have heard about MongoDB, I'm not sure about it, but MongoDB is a document database. It store the documents. Okay, and again it is a NoSQL DB, means all the documents stored in the form of key value pair. So the file name will be the key and the value inside the file will be the value of that file. So it is stored the data in the form of key value pair, and it is stored the documents. So Amazon version of Document DB or Amazon version of MongoDB is known as Amazon Document DB. It is completely managed. All the admin tasks are managed by AWS. It is completely managed service, and this is a way to run MongoDB in AWS cloud. If you want to run MongoDB in AWS, then Amazon Document DB is there. It is used for migrating on premises MongoDB workload to AWS. If you are at present you are using MongoDB to store your documents and you want to migrate that DB to the AWS, then you have to choose Amazon Document DB. So moving to the Amazon key space, I hope you guys are able to understand the different difference between all the databases what AWS provided, and I hope this video is helpful for you guys. So let's move to the Amazon key space database. So if you have heard about Cassandra DB, Cassandra DB is a distributed database which run on multiple machines. Okay, so this is used for where we have big data, like right now if we talk about a live example, Netflix use Cassandra DB, which is used for a big data, and it is again a NoSQL DB. So Amazon key space is a form of Cassandra DB. So if you want to run Cassandra on AWS, or if you want to run database on multiple machines, in that way you have to use key space DB. Then we have Neptune. Neptune is like graph database, means graph database store data in the form of nodes and relations. Like if you want to store any social graph, like if you see the Facebook, how the network is there, that kind of data, or if you want to deduct any fraud pattern, or knowledge graph if you want to store, like a social media, how the profiles are related to each other, that kind of data where the data is stored in the nodes and relations, this is known as graph database. And in Amazon, if you want to use graph database, you have to choose Neptune, because Neptune is the Amazon graph database services. Again, this is a completely managed service. Now moving to Amazon Quantum Ledger. What is Amazon Quantum Ledger? In, like, suppose if I am updating a record, so instead of updating existing record, it will create a new record for each update. Okay, suppose I have a record which I have updated, uh, one record. Suppose I have a record of a person name, contact detail and address, and I have updated contact detail, then it will not update the contact detail in the existing record, but it will create a new record of with the new contact detail. Now suppose if I want to update the address, then it will not update the existing record, but it will create a new record with the updated address. Like this, it will create the records for each and every update. So this is a very good DB if you want to use for audit purposes. Again, it's a NoSQL database. It is used for cryptocurrency. It is used by shipping companies, like if you want to track, where where your parcel is, where everything is, then the track is updates. Then creating drug information, if you have to check audit, like which person has updated what information, then this is useful. Then financial credit and debit transactions is also, we have to maintain in the Quantum Ledger. Supply chain management, supplier information, all these details, then claim history centralized, all these works can be done by the Quantum Ledger database. It is very useful if you want to do any audits, or you have to look back on the history of which record got changed and which thing got changed in a particular record and who have changed that kind of detail. If you want to store in a database, then you should go with the Quantum Ledger DB. Now, last but not least, time stream database. So what is time stream? First we have to see what is time series database. It stores data points logged over a series of time, like temperature. If I talk about, so at one particular time, what is the reading of temperature? After 5 minutes, what is the reading of temperature? After another 5 minutes, what is the reading of temperature? So we have to keep recording the temperature every 5 minutes. So we have T1, then we have T2 temperature recording, then we have T3. Like this we have to keep record. So this is like after every 5 minutes when we are storing the data. like this like this we are just storing the data of a point of like points, storing the data in the form of points. There are IoT sensors devices in the factory which record the temperature, humidity, etc., or any application which is using this kind of data. We use time series database because it stored the data over a series of time. So where you have to use over the series of time, you have to use time series. So Amazon Time Stream is a fully managed service which provide the time series database. So these are the different database which AWS provide based on your requirement, which kind of data you want to store. You can choose any of this database. And also in exams, mostly based on the scenario based questions usually come for the database. So this video will be helpful for that kind of preparation as well. So I hope this video is useful for you, and I keep coming with more such videos. If you have any feedback or suggestion, please do comment in the comment section. And take care of yourself. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.